if you look at this video here, like the moment you enter, it takes me back to like when I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV.
The fates are so overtuned for the casual player to play that people just dying all over the place.
I feel like part of him losing his children is his redemption arc for his bad deeds, because, like, you know, after all, he was a bad person.
There is a thing called the stag apocalypse. There is a tendency for people to mount stags outside the FC house. It's not a weird thing. Really, it's not a weird
Mandatory.
thing.
Welcome to Alith-Cast, Alith's official Final Fantasy XIV podcast. I'm Pigeon, and as usual, I'm joined today by my regular Alith-Cast co-hosts Gunny, Lucinda, and Xaert. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Oh, good. Also, you may have noticed we have a very special guest presenter joining us as well today, and I would like to say welcome to Aeron.
Hi guys.
Hey. So Aeron, for those of you in the FC that are not familiar with who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how long you've been playing the game, and what your interests are within the game.
Sure. So I've been in Alith since I think it was November 2019, certainly late 2019. If you know me, you'll most likely know me from raiding, because I've been running raids since pretty much I joined. And I've been kind of the raid team leader for quite some time now. And my interest in the game is obviously raiding, as well as I used to be quite into crafting, less so now. And just generally bits and pieces, running various roulettes, kind of back to back. I quite like trials and normal raids, just run them again and again and again. But yeah, that's me. I started playing Final Fantasy in 2015, just before Heavensward came out, January. That's my
nice
kind of history with the game. Yeah,
you skipped
great.
over the entire moment when there was no end game except for coils.
Yeah, I always remember getting to my first 24-man and being very excited for that back in sort of like March, April that year. So straight.
Was that the Labyrinth of the Ancients?
Oh, well, actually, by the time I got to endgame, it was World of Darkness, but I thought they were great, so yeah, ever since then. So
nice. Did you play any other MMOs before this?
RuneScape. back in the day, back in like 2007, 2010, played RuneScape.
Cool. Nice. All right. I would like to welcome Aeron, of course. I would like to give a quick disclaimer. I am, as you can see in this entirely weird setting, I'm in a hostel at the moment. So if you hear any sounds from me during this podcast, I apologize, right? It's not my home, nothing I can do about it. Today's podcast, though, we're going to be talking about the life ladder. And to those of you champions that have sat through the entire life ladder, 6.5, 7 hours, wow. We are not covering all that's in the live ladder today. We're only going to cover the job changes that are happening. In the next podcast, in 3 weeks' time from now, we'll be covering the rest of the live ladder. Today's episode is going to be about the job changes, because Aeron here is a very experienced raid leader. We invited him on the show. We feel like, just going to come out, I'm an absolute idiot when it comes to endgame. I haven't played endgame since 2.0. Last time I raided was the Binding Coils of Bahamut turn 4. So that's been a long time ago. I have no clue what's going on in endgame. So if you feel like you're lost, don't worry, I'm there with you. So we're all good here. There's no stupid questions. I will ask them for you. So perfect. I think we have a 20-minute video, which is the job changes cutscene that they showed at the beginning of the live ladder. I haven't seen it yet. The way we're going to do this is our lovely assistant Belle is going to play the video for us, and we're going to comment on whatever we see there.
Excellent.
So yeah, anything before we show the video? Aeron, Gunny, Lucinda, Xaert, anything you want to mention beforehand?
He says hi as well.
Cool.
Oh yes.
We have
Looking forward to seeing your reaction, Ruth.
Oh.
Not especially.
All right, cool. So hit it, Belle.
Oh. contain content inappropriate for children. That's ominous.
I love this.
I love
Yeah,
the move. I told you in the
Yeah,
last
it's so awesome.
That's the Paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
the
tank,
Paladin
tank
limit break.
LB3, yeah.
Yeah.
Dragoon. I actually leveled to 80 with a Dragoon and then moved over to Paladin.
I leveled it to 80 and then instantly started playing Sam. So maybe I should try Dragoon again.
Ooh, what is that?
Find, even though I'm not a massive fan of the job, like to actually play, it always looks so fantastic in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean it's such a iconic class for Final Fantasy, is that? Wasn't it Final Fantasy, I think 4 or 5, where you started off as a Dragoon on the airship? I didn't play it on the NAS, I played it on a mobile afterwards when they did the remake. But yeah.
And it looks similar, but like this is I think this goes for pretty much all the jobs. But I think they did a lot of works on the effects just to bring them out a bit more. It really shows in this one too. Oh yeah, nice warrior. This is my main. Let's see what I noticed here. I noticed they only did 3 fell cleaves in inner release, and I was like, this just hurts my soul. But again, yeah, I think the effects here are definitely slightly changed. There's one skill that they use which puts shards around the character that I didn't know. Yeah, this one right here. That's new. I don't know if that's an existing ability or a new one. It might be a new one. Yeah, that's interesting.
Interesting target mitigation.
Could be.
I don't know if that could be used on self, but perhaps.
There we go. Inner release, and then 1, 2, 3, and yeah. You should be able to do 5. I don't know if they're changing the timing, so maybe.
I reckon it'll be a stack-based thing.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
I'm so glad you guys are here.
Oh yeah, Red
Red
Mage.
Mage.
This does look fancier than I remember.
I really like this.
This looks so cool.
I'm looking forward to the cutscenes with Alith now.
And that one after Scorch, let's see where it pops. Or did they already do it? Oh, here it goes. This is
No,
the-
not yet, not yet.
So that's gonna do the jump, and then 2 big
Accurate.
hits, one, and then it's like the 1, and it's the Scorch, and then you get, I'm a fire in my laser!
Ah,
Nice.
the original meme, yeah. Color. I remember Bell saying something about being disappointed with no love for Scholar.
Surely not.
No?
We can skip this one. It's Scholar's dead anyway now, so it's no point nobody watching it.
Just wait for the. This is coming.
I just do like all the little effects they have. It's like they redid all of them. They might have just redone all of them.
Yeah, like hire a new motion graphic designer, man.
The most emo class of all, here we go.
The Edgelord.
See where they cast Salted Earth. Here we go, yeah. Casts on self. That's something.
It's the same ability, just a slightly different cost.
And it auto casts on itself.
That's new, that one there with the balls, I think.
Dark Blackenstein. Yeah.
I love how evil it looks.
Yep, that's great. Like
Yeah,
one of the
there's
notes that I made, I feel sorry for all the people that have all the effects on already. 'Cause this is just the one, right? Look, imagine 24 of these.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It's...
I just started playing Dancer, and I really like it.
You know what I really didn't like about Dancer first, because it was so floaty and it didn't feel like you ever really hit anything. I think the work they did on the effects and sounds here also improves on that.
That's fair.
Feels a little bit more weighty.
So I mean, I don't play Dancer, right? But from what I heard from other podcasts and from other people is that Dancer is kind of like the unofficial support class because you get your dance partner right?
DPS support, yeah.
If you look at the numbers, the Dancer actual personal DPS is very low, really low compared to the others. But
It did get buffed a bit, or is that like since the last patch that it's also low again?
It's just very low, but it does provide a lot of damage to the group, genuine.
That might be why they're actually calling it the unofficial support.
Yeah.
What are we looking at now? Machinist?
Smashes, yeah. Got a shotgun ability there, I think, which is a new one.
Yeah, it is.
And then
Ooh,
Explosive bombs.
I want to try
That's
this
new.
guy.
That's
Yeah.
the Soul Blade skill.
Ooh,
Here we go.
turret. Yep.
She's doing something new there.
Is that the Queen's Automaton that they mentioned?
Yeah.
at the end, it's like a super ability now. Finish
Ah.
it. Looks of it.
Sort
Yeah,
of
it looks like
a-
she uses her Ghost Cannon, like, at the end there.
and demi limit break maybe. Alright.
So there's 3 charges now. Become
Yeah, instead of 2. Yeah, it's probably because of an extended combo that they added. Like an additional skill that you can use. So that's nice. Because I always felt that 2 was just not enough. I just felt like, oh, I can finally
If you
do the
look in a
combo.
minute,
Yeah.
I believe there's an ability that uses up 2 charges. So use one up, I think, and save. And then it will go
That'd
down
be
to 0.
That's interesting. Oh, that's the
There's
new
a big-
X. I was waiting for them to add like the X thing from all
Big
the
flashy
like, the
ability at the
Gaius-
end.
Gaius
uses
from
two.
Belazarus. It's the signature X that all the guardians use.
This is Bard. I was reading that they are getting buffs again with their songs, like back from 2.0 when they had Mage's Ballad that kind of gave refresh effect, right? Like mana.
They get, I think it's like additional effects per song. There's 3 songs.
yeah, so it,
3 little
Yeah.
stickers now on the side of the job gauge that I think each song you use maybe gives you a
Could be. It's like samurai now.
yeah, they didn't specify what the effects were of the different songs, did they?
So yeah, they left a lot of details out for like things that they're still working on. They just said
Oh, that's-
something's gonna happen.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
My favorite thing.
I do hope they're gonna work out that moon.
so Asta's flashy as well.
This is Reaper.
Yeah. No.
No, it's Astrologian. There's just a Reaper for support.
Ah, all right.
I'm curious to see.
Yeah, it's fun that they have separate classes be there as well, just to show off the effects. You were saying, Lucinda?
Oh, no, I'm just kind of curious to see how it plays because I main Astro, so.
Ah.
Ooh.
Was that a
actually
meteor
like that.
shower?
Yeah, it looks so good.
I don't think I've ever met a main Astro. Till now, I guess.
Wow. I see. Well, hi.
It doesn't happen very often. Here, and yeah, my Sam fights a tiger because of course he does. I think it's mostly because of the third eye ability that needs to get triggered.
And can only be triggered by killing my tiger.
Nah, maybe. No, but by getting hit by something. So here the tiger heals itself and then it attacks. So yeah, that triggers the effect. I did see about the whole make your sushi thing. Shisui, I always call it make your sushi because it's making your sushi. It has 2 stacks now. I still don't understand it, but I'm sure I'll figure it out when I start playing.
Yeah, they added something that you gain those stacks when you use AoE effects now as well, right?
Yeah, there's several classes that now can do their DPS buffs through AoEs. And it said for Warrior specifically that it would trigger also, but it already does, but it doesn't start. So if it does, that'll be great. Let's see.
White Mage?
Yeah, they're not using Ingram, are they? Where are they?
But they added a Holy 2 spell.
True. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the
Looks-
effect.
Looks like it goes down on the ground, and then I think I counted it was about every 8 seconds it seems to pulse.
Yeah.
And there's a Holy 2 there as well.
Yep.
Interesting. I was really excited for this.
Look at the after images on when they pop a certain skill. Like here, they get like
So
so.
it goes straight in with an ability that puts you at the full speed bump timer, the Houton. It's such a nice quality of life.
They pop the after images. Where did I see them?
It's here. They put the bench.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, look at this. This is so cool.
Ooh.
This just looks great. Pop out.
But
Pop
they
back.
did. I remember
That's
they did say they
excellent.
added a few gap closes for different classes.
Yeah. Like
And then
this.
they do this, and it's like, I guess it's a big attack at the end. It looks great. I'm pretty excited. I used to main ninja. I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh, Black Mage, one of the only ones that still has a 90-second skill.
Ley lines, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, Yoshi P is a main black mage, isn't he? It's like, you would have expected him to put the ley lines back to 60.
Maybe he's a masochist. Who knows?
I think they've kind of kept the core of Black Mage, and from what I gathered, they just kind of made it smoother. And
Yeah.
it makes sense, I guess,
Yeah.
to keep ley lines in time with your fire ice phases, keep them at 90 seconds, it kind of makes sense, I suppose, to maximize the damage.
Yeah,
I really like the look of what they've done. It's basically got that fire ice spell there, the combination, and it looks like that kind of triggers as you switch between. So instead of kind of using a mediocre ability switch to switch, it looks like you're kind of doing something like that, maybe.
What I also really like is playing the game with this HUD. Just Alith top left, your job icon top bottom right, and that's it.
just
Everybody
remember
saw
your
that.
skills. What a kind of
Everything
fun.
on visual. That would be great, but
Yeah.
a little hard, I guess. It's like playing tank first person. It's a great idea until you have a flying monster in front of you.
It's so cute.
Reminds me of Pikmin.
So I immediately noticed here that there's a lot of like when it comes up later again, but when they damage, you see effects on the Dark Knight. You can see it happening. AoE, bunch of AoEs, damage that also does something to the Dark Knight. Yeah.
The visual effect, the shields, is kind of like a cube, which is quite different. And you've got the wings there. There's a gap closer, which is really cool.
No. Yeah, this looks really great.
Monk.
I am definitely going to play Monk in the new system. That's gonna,
Monk does look really cool.
It looks so great. I've never played Monk. It's like one of the classes I've never even tried so far.
I actually bought a level skip to 70 for it and I never touched it.
It's got these stickers as well, and it's got this like, I think it was described yin yang gauge at the bottom too. I don't know what it does, but
Yeah, it allows you to build up different types of elements. For sure.
and then I think in a second here, that is Tifa's limit break from Final Fantasy VII at the end, I believe.
Very cool. Here's the new class.
Change.
Buckle up.
Which one of you plays Summoner a lot? Anybody?
I
Well,
used to.
Still recognize the rotation at all?
They
see that.
did show off a little bit as well, gameplay, Yoshi P did, and you can kind of get a lot from that as to what it looks like now as a class.
I think this would bring me back to playing Summoner again because it looks what you would imagine a Summoner to be like.
Exactly.
That ability is wing blade. I know that from the other some of the other Final Fantasies, that's Garuda's main damage attack.
Nice.
So yeah, you can summon Garuda, which is pretty cool. And then the funny thing I thought was, and you've got Titan, he does his ultimate as well.
Yeetus
Upheaval,
Deletus.
or whatever it's called.
There it is, Yeetus Deletus. Oh no, he leaves. Okay.
The thing is, once you summon them, they go away again. Your edgy comes back. And I think it was Gunny who said before we started, like, about the edgy, and I just thought it was funny. They couldn't just leave the summon there. They had to turn it back into an edgy.
Oh, that's what I hated in Final Fantasy Tactics. That a summon after I played 10. I hated that a summon was just an attack, right? That the summon didn't stay there, like in Aeron in Final Fantasy X. And it seems like a bit of the same here, right? So you summon it, you see it for a bit, it doesn't attack, and then you go back to your edgy.
So you got your gap closer there as well. And then going into Phoenix, I'm pretty sure you get the entire rotation for Summoner in this video. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Bahamut, 3 summons with the edgy, Phoenix, and then presumably just back into Bahamut again.
Yeah, they went from miasma first, and then bio and stuff was completely skipped out of that, obviously, because it's removed now, and then they went straight into the summons.
Yep.
So cool.
Nice. Reaper is so amazing. Like the second I saw this, I was like, "Oh, can you teleport back to it?" And yes, it's great. Like if that's gonna be such a great thing to use in a fight, where you're like, "Oh, I have to be there in 20 seconds or 10 whatever seconds. I'm just gonna drop it here, do some DPS, and then teleport the last second." People are gonna be so greedy with this one. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it looked like it was staying there for a good 10-15 seconds.
Yeah, it's like a 15-second countdown.
Yeah,
Reaper
good.
does look really good.
That's going to be a general thing. There's so many gap closers and rotation, like choice material, that you're going to have to move a lot in the new raid.
I'm assuming the same. Like those raids are going to be intense.
Very mobile. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to be pretty cool.
Gonna be nice for Summoner to have to cast a summon.
Yeah, I missed it at the time, but when you get your what's it called, like the little Reaper buddy out,
Paladin.
Let's go.
he actually
This is
changed
my
his
main.
entire outfit.
Yeah. They actually possessed the main character, and it becomes like an emo version, like Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man. You know?
I'd prefer Venom.
So
Carnage.
I think that's a new Sheltron there.
Yeah,
me.
it is.
That looks a
Yeah,
lot like
yeah,
a
with the shield,
version of
yeah.
Sheltron.
Aren't they adding like a tank-wide new mitigation in there for all tank classes?
Oh yeah, but it's not a. No.
That was Confiteor. Oh, that's new.
Video 2.
That's
And
indeed wow.
3.
Jesus, that
4.
looks
That's
fucking
tank.
awesome.
Tank-wide, they're adding mitigation effects based on when you use things in conjunction with, I think, mostly your own skills. But
Also, on a side note, that mob that was on the moon there is actually called it's part of the Empty, like a big group of mobs. So I'm thinking, and that comes from 11.
Nice.
Cool.
So they've reused some skins there again from that game.
Excellent.
Yeah, what's also a nice little thing to know is, for those of you that didn't listen to the podcast, so when the in the Japanese version, right, they don't use Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3. They use the classical Fire, Firaga, because they were adding a new layer on top of these, like Fire 6, I believe, or Fire 5. What are they adding? They had to come up with a new name. So Yoshi P had to actually go to the brand committee of Square Enix to request, like, okay, we need to add a new name, because that's basically deciding for all future Final Fantasies what's it gonna be. And they actually told him, we trust you, right? And because Final Fantasy XIV is most likely the only one who's gonna have this many tiers of fire, so it's fine, go ahead. But he chickened out and he just called it like Super Fire or something. He's like, I'm not gonna do this. So it's just a nice little to know. So before we go into the specifics of the roles and the classes themselves, what do you guys think?
I love the way everything looks.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with how the abilities look now. They seem to be improved a bit, which is really good. And some of the new skills, they really upped their game as well this time around. And I have to be a little bit biased, but I really loved the new Paladin ones. They're really awesome.
Same for War. Yeah, they look great.
Yeah. Did I miss Sage? Or was I just not paying attention?
That was there. That was where the Dark Knight was standing there, just sitting there, just chilling.
Ah, all right. Okay.
Honestly, with Sage, I was expecting more lasers, to be honest. I mean, it was lasery, but not like over the top.
Yeah, the sound effects were very Gundam-like, they said. So.
The other one that really stands out to me, in terms of audio, the Final Samurai ability sounds really cool. It's really powerful. In terms of the audio, there's definitely a lot to digest from it.
Yeah.
But they look really great. Almost all of them. There are a couple of exceptions, I think, personally, but.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that they went all out with the attacks on Paladin and didn't go like they did last time with the big wings. I forgot the name of the skill. I'm so bad with names, this. But the big wing protection thing too, like everyone in the cone around you is being protected.
Passage of arms.
Thank you. Yes. So I was expecting kind of a continuation on that. Like put an even bigger party defense buff and make it look like a I don't know, build a bunker around your party or something, But no, the attacks look really good.
I don't know if you saw with Red Mage, they've got this massive shield that they put up. I think it's fairly early on in the trailer.
It looks like a 15-yalm shield. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean they were adding these bar magic and bar protect kind of. God. No,
I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but the sound effects for Dragoons were slightly different. Maybe it was just the mix that was there. Because I didn't get the same cocktail party effect that I always get with certain skills that Dragoon has, where it sounds like I hear a cocktail party in the background.
I thought I can't remember the name of it, it's been so long, but the third one that puts up a dot, it's kind of the purplish one. To me, it looked like it might have had a new animation and a slightly different sound.
They're actually adding another skill to the end of your combo with Dragoon, so it might be because of that.
You get one extra one. It's a nice skill you can use.
Yeah, and the fact, I mean, I'm jumping out of time here, but that Blood of the Dragon is going to be a trait instead of an active that you have to keep up. That's good. Lucinda, which one do you like the most? What is your main class, by the way? I don't think we ever heard it.
Astrologian, however people like to say it. But, yeah.
That one.
But, what am I looking forward to most? Reaper looks so cool, but at the same time, I really want to play Summoner. But then at the same time, I'm just looking at, I like Dancer a lot. I feel like I just need to try a bunch of them.
No, it's the new classes look amazing. The revamps look great. Summoner is definitely, they spent the most time on that, easily.
So I have to say, I'm not really a big fan of the look of Sage. I mean, I was looking forward to seeing a new healer because, there's not really a wide range, but I don't think I'm interested in giving it a try. I may try it a little bit just for the sake of a new healer being out, but I think I'd still stick with Astra at the end of the day.
I think the Sage is just also skipping ahead. I think the Sage is primarily a healer that you'll play if you play DPS roles.
Just to get easy
more of a
use.
DPS. I assume the way that it plays will be more like a DPS than like a healer.
So I just might play White Mage, so I'm very, very excited for Sage, and I've watched.
It'd be great.
I think I mentioned earlier, Yoshi P went and did some gameplay on a dummy, and we got quite a lot of the skill information from that. If we end up discussing that later, I'm really excited for it based on everything I saw. I wasn't actually that excited for it before, but now.
I mean, you main a tank, don't you, Aeron?
No, I mean White Mage. Mage.
All right.
Yeah, I play various bits and pieces, but.
And your limit break tree is going to be expanded to 50 arms as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That would be nice. I've kind of gotten used to that, but anyone who's new or newer, and especially who's not used LB3 before, that is the classic. You're at the edge of the arena, and I'm thinking, because especially if I'm on the floor, I'm like, please run to the middle of the arena. It doesn't get anyone. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that won't be an issue anymore. And yeah, well, let's go through each and every one of their main jobs. Like Gunny, which one do you main mostly?
Paladin.
What do you think?
Honestly, I'm really, really hyped for this, and surprisingly, the biggest thing I care about is the gap closer. You know how useful just that extra 5 yalms is gonna be.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be awesome. It really is. The only thing I wish they did, we have a ability, shield lob. We can throw our shield at an enemy. I really wish they increased the range of that, because I think it's the range is range has always been a little too short. You practically got to be stood next to the mob to throw your shield, which seems a bit silly.
They did actually make an adjustment to these ranged attacks for tanks. They adjusted it so that they adjusted it so that they no longer interrupt your chain. So
yeah, they did that. Yeah, I mean, of course, yeah, but that's a positive thing. But I really would have liked shield lob to be the range to be a little bit longer.
I think
as for the rest of it, it's perfect, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd second that. I think when I play Dark Knight, and I haven't played enough Gunbreaker, but I presume it's the same in all the tanks. You kind of just have to run up, and it's a little close. Some fights it doesn't really matter, and then some fights it's a really long way to run, and it's kind of weird now with the expanded distance of the gap closer as well. You're still gonna, I think, probably depending to play optimally, you're probably still gonna want to engage with your ranged attack, even though you have to get much closer than you would if you were engaging with your gap closer.
Exactly.
Really? Because I main Paladin, and maybe this is because I don't do endgame content, right? The most endgame I do is like a near automata raid. So I mean my engage is just gonna be that charge. I never use the shield throw.
It'll definitely feel good. It'll definitely feel good.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, shield throw, we use them for just grabbing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if you're in like Bosjo or something like that, and you're rounding up mobs to AoE them down and stuff like that, you just run around and just keep lobbing your shield at mobs, so you're pulling them all into a big group.
Yeah.
And it's for things like that I mean, it's going to be really beneficial.
Definitely, yeah. And then Xaert, what is your main? What do you think?
My main is a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I saw, I'm curious what the skill they're going to add after inner releases, and if it's going to be something like similar to Gunbreaker, where you now have the 3 things and there's just one bigger one. Like if you have more of a bar built up, you can like dump damage all at once if you plan it right. That's going to be interesting. Plus, I'm very excited to see what kind of skill synergies they come up with, because they said something about, let's see, what was it? Very specific to tanks specifically, was that you would get more beneficial effects if you used skills at a good timing, and that makes me think of like Thrill of Battle as a warrior. Like when you have that on and then you use like a shield, or I don't know exactly which skill it is anymore, but it then adds an extra bonus. Like if you self-heal, you get more heal during Thrill of Battle. So you would use Thrill of Battle when you're about to get healed or something like that. But I always felt the benefit wasn't great enough. It was always sort of like, it's more optional than necessary. Maybe unless you're doing E12. I don't know. Maybe there it's necessary. Eric can chime in on that. But I always felt the benefits didn't outweigh the trouble you would run into in your rotation if you tried to use them in that location, specifically for every fight. So I kind of see the whole thing they're doing with making it easier to keep your damage rotations up, getting the timings on 60 and 120 seconds to be easier to hit. And then on top of those like situational ability usages, I think they're leading very strong into tactics. So I'm very curious for Warrior what that's actually going to be, because they haven't really shared the details yet.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with the change of mobility gap closers. I think that I mean, maybe Aeron, you have more information on what's coming, but I think the end game raids that are coming in Endwalker are going to be a lot more mobile than what we've seen so far.
I'm really curious about them, because they've kept things very consistent since a 9 through 12 tier, the final tier of Alexander. It's been very consistent in terms of the difficulty, and I think in terms of the mechanics that you see as well, I don't remember there being anything wildly different. But they're giving also this mobility stuff. It wasn't super obvious from the trailer. Scholar's getting a new mobility. It's like sprint. It basically puts sprint on the party without it being sprint, and it works in battle. And I thought that was a super random decision. But that aside, is that supposed to be indicative of the fact that there's going to be, I don't know, more running around? Basically,
Probably.
I mean, someone has got a gap closer. Sage has got a gap closer. They've done some changes to gap closers a little bit as well. So I don't know.
I think we can agree that the Square Enix team or the Yoshida-san's team is actually not doing anything randomly. Everything they're changing and implementing has a reasoning behind it.
And if it's subconscious, they just probably had lots and lots of donuts the last 12 months. Because gap closes are for donuts. So yeah, they just made lots of donut attempts. That's my theory.
Yeah, they look tired though at the live ladder, gotta say. They look really tired, but those guys have been working non-stop, so I can imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they were saying that based on the 5.0 adjustments they made for Shadowbringers, which were big ones with all of the job gauges in there, they wanted to build upon that system. They felt like they were in a good place and wanted to build upon that. So as we already mentioned earlier, the recast time of most primary abilities is adjusted to align with 60 to 120 second timers. There are some exceptions like ley lines that remain 90 seconds because of the personal rotation of a black mage. There is some potency adjustment. You're going to see lower numbers because of the adjustment upward balancing of the numbers. So they did stress it a couple of times during the live ladder. Don't get surprised at lower potency numbers, especially for physical DPS.
Yep.
They balanced that out with the formula they used to scale it up. So the damage output should still remain the same. It's just that your potency looks lower.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I think the primary reason is like when you're comparing stats to see how good something is, you're looking at the item. That's the number you want to be the same. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same in this new system.
Yeah.
So the potency will be different on the skills, but you're not looking at your skills. You're looking at some drop or some item that you might want. So you want that to be the same.
Yeah, just big numbers.
Yeah, big number. Like, and if I'm on a DPS class and I see a magic item and it has a magic stat, then I have no idea what that means because it's not the same, and I don't know if it is going to be the same. But in this new system, it would be. So if I see that to be the same as my damage, I know it's the same tier item, basically.
I have no clue about any stats, so.
I'm just thinking about like why would they do this? I think that's the primary reason. Just like so you know what a drop is if you're on a different class, and you can make a better decision if you need it or not.
I think it's really good that they're squishing the numbers in general. I think the numbers eventually. I mean, if they're planning on doing the content for, I think they said they had like 10 years of content. So by the time we, we're getting into those numbers. I mean, the numbers would be insane. It would be insanely long. But at the same time, I know, and it's the same in every MMO, and it won't be much different in this one either. Is that when they stat squish, it's never going to be as good as it was before. But it's going to be close. But I don't think it's going to be as good.
It happened in WoW, didn't it? Like,
it did, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Those numbers, Mason, what do they mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
But like older content. But they did say that they were going to give a special buff for the older content to try to make up the difference, so that it wouldn't happen like it did in WoW, for example. So hopefully the buff is big enough that older content, when people run it unsynced and stuff, it's not going to be more difficult than it is now.
Yeah, but WoW never did anything like level syncing in dungeons, did they?
No, not really.
No. I mean, that's just like the beauty of this game, I'd say. But yeah, those are the big differences, job-wide, like all classes-wide. So let's start off with tanks, right? I mean, meaning Paladin, of course. Let's see, using defense buffs at optimal times grants greater benefits. They did not specify which benefits they are. We'll find out later.
Yep.
The ranged attacks, such as Shield Lob, no longer break combos.
Yep. So you can spam damage and enmity, at least.
So I can be Captain America all the time. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to Paladin. Requiescat. However,
Requiescat in pace.
Requiescate. Bueno. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Requiescat. Now equally effective regardless of remaining MP. Okay, so before Gunny, you jump in, I know you know about this. I main Paladin as well, but I had no idea that it was based off of the remaining MP. That gives you kind of an indicator of how well I know my classes. Right, so take it away, Gun.
Yeah. So what happens is if you're below 80% MP, Rayquest doesn't proc basically, and it's basically pointless.
Exactly.
So there is situations where somebody might not have the MP because they have to spend it on like healing themselves in an emergency situation or something, and having the Rayquest actually can actually make a crit heal too. So you can heal for a massive amount if you use Rayquest and then you hit your heal button. It's really going to be beneficial for those very, like, you know, when maybe the healers are dead, and you need a heal really fast. You need to get as much HP as fast. Maybe a tank buster is coming or something like that. And before, when you were in that sticky situation, you couldn't really use it because if your MP was already going to be below 80%, and it's quite easy for that to happen in that situation. Yeah. So now that it's unaffected by that, it's really going to help with those situations. Like unimaginably, it's going to be such a good thing to have for sure.
I think it's nice if you're just getting into the class as well. I play Paladin, but I don't play it very well. Mainly because I just don't play it very often, so I haven't got the practice down. And I catch myself accidentally using it because I've kind of got the rotation down, but then I haven't paid attention to my MP. It's not like 6,000, which is it's just below 80%, so Requiescat's useless. But at least it's a bit less punishing now, I think is nice.
Cool. I mean, you still have your buff where you can increase healing received, right?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of it. Like I said, I'm horrible with names, but
Divine Veil, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but that increases it. It's a really good thing. It's going to be amazing. Oh. Especially for new tanks as well, like you said, who don't always cap their MP. So it's going to be a little bit easier for them.
Like me. All right. So yeah, let's see. Tree attack combo starting with Confiteor. That's the one we saw. That's a new attack, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they just made the sword bigger and bigger and bigger that comes down. It's kind of a bit cartoony, but in that way. But yeah, I really like the fact that we're gonna have an added damage rotation. It's pretty good. It's nice to have. Not always nice to have more damage, right?
It reminded me a little bit of Heaven's Ward with the
Knights of the Round.
Yes.
Yeah.
With the Pope.
Yeah.
Cool. Does anyone else of you play Paladin?
I was just trying to remember what Confiteor, what skill that was. That's the one that you can cast after you do the other thing, right? You just spam it a few times, and now it's a rotation instead of you're just spamming the same thing 3 times. Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, those are the changes for Paladin. Then we have Warrior upcoming.
Yeah.
It is a meaty subject, guys, so bear with us.
Yeah, the thing, all the damage up effects can now be triggered and extended by AoE combos. They could already be extended by AoE combos. That's why I was confused. Like, that's already a thing, but triggered, that's new. So you can put your damage buffs on yourself, like your main damage up, 50% damage up. You can trigger that with an AoE starter, which is great. So you don't have to do stupid single target combos where there's 15 mobs in front of you, which is very annoying. So you waste 3 GCDs of AoE damage just to be able to give yourself 50% damage. It was always stupid. Sam has the same problem. It was just ridiculous. So I'm hoping that solves the whole thing, which is nice. So yeah,
cool.
That's that one.
Yeah, they really focused on the AoEs, this change.
Yeah.
Nice. Onslaught and Upheaval no longer drains the Beast Gauge.
I think this is primarily to make it easier for people to have Beast Gauge to dump Felcleave, so you don't lose it in between. But specifically, Upheaval is a thing that you use it on cooldown, and if you situationally kind of use it incorrectly, you might not have the Beast Gauge to use it on cooldown, and then you will get into trouble at your peak rotation time. So this is just a change that makes it easier to do peak damage at the 60 and 122nd marks. That's what it's for primarily. So you won't run into trouble with Beast Gauge. You could just use it on cooldown. Period.
By the way, is there anyone else who plays Warrior? No, Aeron?
Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
I'm sure the viewers do.
Yeah.
I'm sure the viewers do. So it's good to have someone.
Yeah. It's like Upheaval cost 20 Beast Gauge, like of 100. And if you don't use it on cooldown, you get out of sync with your main damage rotation, which costs you 500 DPS overall on the fight, basically, at about 10,000. So that's, what is that, like 5%? That's quite a bit. So this is just giving you some wiggle room. It makes it easier to do peak damage.
Cool. And they added a new action following inner release.
I have no idea. It's probably going to be. I hope it looks great in G pose, because I always pop inner release and do something and then go into G pose, and then you just have those red eyes. It's great, especially when you're wearing a buddy hat.
There was an ability at the end of the Warrior segment in the job trailer. Was that ability?
It was probably there, yeah, but we couldn't really see it because all the effects are different.
All right, so being conscious of the time, because we've already been in here for an hour, right? Let's move this on a little bit faster, where we are going to discuss the main changes to the job roles and each and every one of your classes that you play, right? So I'd say we've had a Xaert, you main Warrior. We just covered Warrior. I believe we covered everything, right? With Warrior.
Yeah, easily.
Yep. Okay.
More than that.
Gun, you play Paladin. First, we'll go with the main ones of Lucinda and Aeron. All right. So, Lucinda, you are maining Astrologian, you said. Let's go for Astrologian first. Let me pull up the Astrologian in here. Audience, I'm very sorry. I know you would love to hear everything, but it's we're human, right? All right. Astrologian added an additional card slot. What does it mean for the class? How do you see the changes happening?
Honestly, not a clue. I'm just kind of in the boat where I'm just waiting to actually, because I'm more of a hands-on person, then I can just gauge how it feels after. Like, having a look at this list, I'm just mostly interested to see how it feels when both sets are removed. That is the most important thing for me at the minute.
But just what's the difference between the two sects, like specifically? I have no idea what this even means, but what's the effect under diurnal?
Let's read it out first. So they removed the diurnal sect and the nocturnal sect, and heals will have old effects during diurnal sect built in.
Okay, well, Diurnal is basically the regen, and Nocturnal is like the shield. So they're
Right.
just turning us into a full like regen, like
Full
healer.
regen healer.
Yeah.
Alright.
Is that because they're moving the they built the sage like a shield healer, or
Yeah, I think so. And then you can't. It'll be weird. They just need to just equalize everything.
Hmm.
Hmm.
All right,
in
that makes
the
sense.
Party Finder, they're not going to change it for most things in the Party Finder, but specifically for Savage. If you happen to party find Savage for some reason, they're going to have it one shield healer, one regen healer. So they are very much a distinct thing now because there's two of each.
Gotcha. Yeah, kind of makes me feel like it's like the difference in to compare it in WoW, where you had a discipline priest and I think shaman,
priest.
was it? No, shaman, was it? Regeneration with the totems. It doesn't matter. Other game.
Yeah.
All right. Divination changed. Seals used for new self enhancements.
Yeah, honestly, I genuinely don't know what to think about it. But like, I don't really understand it. Like, is it not going to be used for other people as well,
Yeah.
or just myself?
It sounds like it. Like
Hmm.
that's the cards, right? Divination is the cards.
I think, kind of based on what they were saying about how it can be very RNG, because so if you get 3 seals that are separate, you get, I think it's an 8% damage buff on divination, as opposed to a 6% or a 4% or a 2% if you've got less seals or no seals. And they were saying, it's kind of RNG, and you might get really bad luck with the seals, and it's kind of crap because you don't get your full divination ability. My guess would be divination is going to always give an 8% buff to the party when you use it. But if you've got a better combination of seals, you yourself, by yourself, when you use divination, will get extra effects. Maybe more healing, maybe more damage. That would be my guess. So they make divination just flat party boost regardless, takes away the RNG, but you get more stuff yourself if you manage to combo your seals better by using your cards. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
think
I
I'd
guess
like-
we'll find out.
It is confusingly phrased.
Yeah.
It is. All right. So, and in terms of healers, like overall adjustments on the role, right? The role class. You got new actions for single target buffs given to each healer. Not specified which ones, but you'll get single target buffs. Offensive spells cast time reduced to around 1.5 seconds faster. Pew pew. Oh god, Belle, thank you. Thank you, Belle, for adding that in there. Yes, okay, that happened. Healers limits break AoE range increased to 50 ohms. No, you're not catching me with that one, Belle. So that's at more resistance? Yes, perfect. All right, that covers the healer job role adjustments and Lucy's main job. Aeron, what is your main job? You said it, but which one?
Yeah, White Mage. It's
White
not the
Mage.
most interesting of changes from what I've seen, but there's a couple of things to
So-
mention.
There's 4 fields here that I'm 4 lines here that I see. So they added a restorative field action, the healing fountain or totem kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't you already have one? Isn't Asylum a...
So Asylum just goes down on the ground. It's a bubble that does regen over time. From the job trailer, what this looks like is, I think there's a vaguely similar ability in WoW. I've barely played WoW, but I played a tiny bit on Priest, and it's like it just goes on the ground and it emanates a heal out occasionally.
Oh, that's the chalice that you had to click manually in Mist of Pandaria, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
no, I don't think you're gonna have to click this or anything, but based on the job trailer, because obviously it's White Mage, so I'm interested. I think I saw it emanates twice. So it does 2 heals, 8 seconds apart. So you put it down, 8 seconds past it does a heal, 8 seconds past it does a heal, goes away. That seems kind of boring, and it makes me think maybe they'll do a bit more, and you can't get everything from the job trailer. But that's what I took that to be. I don't really see how it's that different to Asylum, with the exception of the fact that it does 2 burst heals rather than a slow regen. But
Great for
that's
Aquarna.
that.
All right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so they also added a second tier of holy. No, Bell, I'm not adding your comments in here.
Bella's sabotaging the roof.
He is. Oh, okay. So you got a second tier of Holy. Holiga, whatever you want to call it in Japanese. It's Holy 2. It looked cool, actually, in the trailer.
And it still has a stun. You can see it in the trailer. It definitely does a stun as well.
That is good. Nice. Cool. They removed Fluid Aura. Which one?
Cool. I don't think anyone cares. I think it does a bind. I don't remember what it does anymore. I haven't used it in years. It used to do a knockback.
Yeah. I was wondering which skill that was because I didn't remember it. I was like, I don't know.
Blue. It's really blue.
I think the last time when I was playing 2.0, that was just when Binding Coils came out. People were still using CC back in the Undapo Keep and stuff like that. Like, okay, there's two of these giant armors coming. You put one to sleep and the other one we take down. And I haven't seen that happen anymore since I came back those years later. But I think those are just some legacy things that they can remove. Nobody cares. Divine Benison now has an additional charge, which is nice, I guess.
Yeah, not much to say about it. You can see it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. You can hold it for a bit longer rather than worrying about just constantly using it. So you can optimize it a little bit more. That's about it.
All right, cool. And those are the changes for White Mage. Now for myself, I'm gonna go ahead. I do play Paladin. I'm gonna say because I leveled on a Dragoon and I still use it often, I'll go with Dragoon. So we get to cover one more. Disembowel is now included in the AoE rotation. It's cool. Okay, I'm failing already. What is Disembowel again? Help me out, guys. No one?
Is that the dot? I think that's the one that applies the dot, isn't it?
Ooh, if that's the case, that's quite good actually, because that causes a armor reduction, I believe. If I don't.
Yeah. This lines up with the things they're doing in other classes where single target dots are now part of AoE rotations.
Ah, yeah, you're right. I'm figuring things out here, guys. Thank you. They added an additional action at the end of the main combo rotation, so that's what we talked about earlier. They didn't specify what it is. I'm a bit curious though, because if you do your single target rotation, you actually have two of them, right? And then you have two more actions which are actually used to renew Blood of the Dragon, but because Blood of the Dragon is now becoming a trait, I'm wondering how they're gonna fit that in there, because there's 3 in your main rotation, you go into those 2 and then you move to the second main rotation, then you switch to those other 2 again. I wonder how they're gonna keep that, but maybe keep in mind, could be that I'm just doing an entirely wrong, fucked up rotation, right? It could be me, but okay. Spine Shattered Dive. Yeah, go ahead.
Like in my experience of playing Dragoon, the whole Gear Skogul timing to refresh that buff always felt weird. So maybe this is part of that.
If you use both of those skills after the initial 3 skills, you're gonna keep it up no matter what in 100% easily. So I have wondered if I should use both of them. I always did.
It just seemed weird to me.
Mm-hmm. It feels good to have Blood of the Dragon turn into a trait. Like it's always annoying when you just pop Blood of the Dragon. And they said that the actions with Blood of the Dragon, once you activate it, right? So like the 2 red buttons. Mm-hmm. I'm such an idiot. The 2 red buttons that are becoming available once Blood of the Dragon has been activated, right? They are now constantly available. Those are bursts. So I'm wondering if they put down the DPS on that. But yeah, it's interesting. The Spine Shattered Dive now has 2 charges. I think that is also in line with the gap closers, right? They said that if you keep 1, then you'll have a gap closer. It's lovely because if you have a cutscene also with Blood of the Dragon, right? If you lose it during the cutscene, it sucks. And now you have the gap closer and no more upkeep of Blood of the Dragon. Amazing. Lens charge 60 seconds, battle litany 120 seconds, so just adjustments of time is there. And Blood of the Dragon is the outright. Okay, that is Dragoon. So in terms of physical melee DPS, Feint changed to reduce physical and magical damage dealt, more physical damage reduction. Good.
Yeah. It means it's never a bad idea to use it. There's just sometimes when it's a better idea to use it.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Feint compared to Adel in particular is so many bosses do magical attacks, but Feint only worked on physical, and so it's kind of like you barely even know when to use Feint, let alone think about using it. It's one that gets very much forgotten compared to Adel. So it's kind of like, you don't have an excuse now. It actually does something regardless. Please use it.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And the second one is the same as with tanks. Ranged attacks no longer break combos. Perfect. I like it. I like that they help keeping the combo times up. Of physical ranged DPS. So party-wide defensive skills adjusted to 90-second cooldown. That is, I think with a bard, right? With those songs, I think it's in line with that. I'm not sure what Machinist has in terms of a defensive party-wide skill.
They've all got, I remember there's Tactician, and then there's a couple of others. And they all do the same thing, they've just got different names.
Yeah.
I think they're maybe 180 at the moment, or 9. It's just bringing them all together and in line with what they want.
Cool. All right. All magical ranged DPS. Adult changed to reduce magical and physical damage dealt. More magic damage reduction though.
Same as the other one.
Yep. Heal is recovered. All right. So those are the job roles. All right. Moving on to the summoner class. It's basically a new job. Like they changed it. Like they removed all of the dots, the damage over time effects, and actually implemented actual summons. Can you believe that? It went from a traditional World of Warcraft Warlock into an actual Final Fantasy X Yuna, right? Not exactly, but you can now summon Garuda, Titan, and Ifrit Primals next to the ones you already had. Primal summoned determines the elemental properties of the abilities you can cast. Bahamut and Phoenix durations are reduced to 15 seconds. Gonna assume that's in line with the rest of the summons that you are getting. Yeah, so what do you think? Excited? Is it gonna be a whole new class, or do you think it's...
I do actually think it's gonna be fairly kind of half a new class, because you've got your Bahamut phase. From seeing I think when Yoshi P pulled it up, it looks like some of your abilities transform. So there are some new visual effects in the trailer that are more a visual change than an actual change. So I think your Bahamut and Phoenix phases are very similar, but everything in between looks to be Garuda, Ifrit, and Titan. And I think that very much the summoner of old, the summoner of Heavensward and Stormblood is very much gone now. So you've got the Bahamut Phoenix, and then you've got these new phases. So you've got the distinct 5 sections to it. But yeah, it's kind of weird that they're getting rid of the dots. Not like in a, I don't like it way, just kind of like, oh, okay. It makes sense with the fact that they're moving to summoner, that they're getting rid of that dot, which has nothing to do with it. So
maybe it's also like a prelude towards a new class later on. That will be a dot class.
Dot mage, yeah, I actually really like dot mages. So
yeah,
that'd be cool.
Maybe like a brown mage, the poop mage. It's poop dot. What do you think, Lucy? I know you play summoner as well. I've been whispered into my ear by a certain bald guy.
Well, to be honest, a lot of my sentiments are shared with like what Aeron just said, but I'm generally looking forward to it because it does feel like a kind of refresh. I have to admit, like, coming to play Summoner, I had a different reality to what I expected. I still enjoyed it, but it wasn't really the same. So I'm really curious to see how it actually feels.
I Summoner has always been in any Final Fantasy. It's always been that big, wow, like impressive burst damage. It's been like that's been its role. Kind of like Black Mage. It looks very impressive. It's big damage on the screen. It's like, oh wow, you know what I mean? It was always awesome, but I never felt that with the Summoner previously here with the tiny Iggy's, I always thought it was like watered down, and for a
Yeah.
summoner being one of the main classes like of Final Fantasy, you know what I mean? It kind of sucked, but I see that they're going back towards the original roots now of summoner in it, and I'm really hyped about that. I think it's going to be really good.
I think it's one of the classes I would like to start trying out in Endwalker as well.
You should.
Seems cool.
I'm so glad they've gotten rid. Presumably gotten rid of Edgy Assault. I'm pretty sure they have. I hate that skill. It's just a spam skill that does nothing, and they brought it in Shadowbringers. It's super underwhelming, and it's just the edgy. Whereas now we get Garuda for it in Titans, so.
Yeah, next to Bahamut and Phoenix.
And
It's
Phoenix.
basically Louiswa, but okay.
What's next?
Spoiler.
Okay, so we're gonna have a competition, and you can have a chance of winning 500k gil. It's going to be a little game of hide and seek, and we're going to do it live as you're watching the podcast. So, 3 of us are going to hide in areas, and you have to find all 3 of us. When you find all 3 of us, the first person to find all 3 of us will win the 500k gil. Now, the 3 of us who are going to be hiding is going to be me, Roof Pigeon, and also Belle will be hiding, our background man. We're going to be hiding in 3 zones, and I have them written down here so you have an idea of where we're going to be. So Belle is going to be hiding in Central Shroud. Roof Pigeon is going to be hiding in Eastern Nana Costa. And I am going to be hiding in Central Fanalan. So honestly, good luck to you guys. We're going to dye ourselves green. You know, we're going to be camouflaged. I might even change race to be a Lala, so I'm even smaller. You know, it's going to be tough. And I wish you all the best of luck in finding us.
Hint with me, look on a roof.
Yep.
All right. While we are hiding, though, we're not done here. Yeah, I mean we can multitask. I mean it's fine. Of course, we have our resident officer, Xaert, at our disposal. He's coming to you live with the FC news of this podcast.
Yeah. All right. So news-wise, there's a couple things to go through. First off, let's just go through the FC activity stage, right? So we're monthly active. We're in 4th place. We're doing really well. We have a lot of active members. We're like at 391-ish. So there's a good amount of active members, and it's been actually quite stable. Like last podcast, we said we had to start recruitment. We weren't actively recruiting. That hasn't started up yet, and we're still maintaining the same types of membership. So we're hoping that's working to keep the family feel and not like overload us with new people, but still keep the group strong. So that's definitely been working. So let's just all keep it up the way we've been going, and that's going great. Then second up, we had an Alith Awards, obviously. So let's just go through who the winners were. First up, we had the Above and Beyond and Party Animals combined this time around. Our winners were Sunstorm, Nai Shiro, Gato Pima, Alsonark Rose, and Amara Mufa. If I just butchered your names, you'll have to send me recordings of what your names are actually like, and then I can do it better next time. And then we have our newcomer of the month, Rosa Phantom. That was actually very recently also hiding with us in a hide and seek. And our guild champion for the month is Gato Pima, also a Above and Beyond winner, which is quite often the case. All right, so let's just quick cheer for all the new members. Yeah. Anyway, the cheer doesn't really come through the noise cancellation. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So, oh yeah, that's a really cute picture right there. Next up, we have our upcoming Halloween. We're just already kind of teasing it. I kind of forget exactly when Halloween is. Isn't it like the end of October? Isn't that
Spooktober.
when Halloween is? Yeah, Spooktober. So for those of us that don't know this, we always do a big Halloween. Like we remodel the entire, like I say we, but Desdemona remodels the entire interior and does a bang job every time. So I'm very looking forward to floating books and scary things. It's great. And there's a 2-day fully booked event that you can just save a whole weekend for. We have a whole weekend full of stuff you can do together. It's always really fun. A few small examples. We had a Simon Says. We had a haunted house of hidden items. We had some Gates of Hell. And last year, Belazarus was possessed by vanity and got really dark and moody. So I'm very excited what would happen to Belle this time. Who knows? We'll see. But definitely looking forward to that one. It's going to be great. And then we have, since we have Aeron here, very interested to see if there are any major things going on in the raiding department. So how is raiding looking, Aeron?
Well, we're in a bit of a lull because we're between all the patches and the expansion. That doesn't mean that there aren't events going on. There have been a lot of member events. We've provided functionality fairly recently for members to use the Discord bot. That lets you actually put up a proper template. So thank you so much to everyone who's been running those member events. By all means, keep putting them up. They're great. If you are unfamiliar with that, and also the official events that the FC raid leaders run, you can. I'm going to kind of look at my other screen just so I can kind of guide you through it. There's a couple of places to look out for on the FC Discord. That's where we do all the event posting and stuff. So first and foremost, just to see what's coming up, and you can see all the member and official events under announcements and updates. That's near the top of the Discord on the left-hand side. There's the upcoming events tab. That just lists everything that's coming up, and you can navigate through that to all the different event postings. You can sign up from there, just see what's going on. In terms of what's actually being posted, further down on the left-hand side, you've got the Alith raiding and events category, and there's official events, member events. You can click into both of those. That's where the events are posted and you can sign up to, and that's where you get sent to if you go via the calendar that I just described. The only other thing I want to point out, I know a lot of people aren't signed up to the event alert role, and basically what that'll do is that will give you a Discord ping whenever someone puts up an official event or a member event. I would absolutely encourage people to sign up to that. I've had people who come to my events but don't know about it, don't get notified about maybe like a similar one, and then they miss it. So if you want to get alerts for when events go up, you go to the intro and alert role channel, which is the top of Alith raiding and events. Scroll down to the bottom, and there's like a purple, almost like a hazard symbol. It's like a purple exclamation mark and a triangle. Click that as a reaction, and it will give you the event alert role. Thanks for giving me the platform to say that, because I know a lot of people have missed that. And just in case you're wondering what the events we actually run are, got a map event that goes on most Fridays. There's a Zadnor Bodger event that goes on most Sundays. And then there are all sorts of bird farms, dog farms, savage raids that I tend to run along with some of the other raid leaders. All sorts of content. And because it's in a bit of a lull period, we're doing all sorts of things right now. I might be doing like an ultimate taster session at some point. I could go on for ages. So I'll pass back to you, but thanks for giving me the platform to just say a few things about the raids.
Yeah, I just learned something. I just signed up.
Yeah, we got one more. Excellent. That's a big one already right there. All right. And then, of course, there's and if you have ideas about content that we're not running that you want us to run, just give us a heads up. Just dump a message to Aeron or whatever raid leader. They'll start running those kind of things. Absolutely. All right, that covers raiding and events. Now, then quickly onto Alith vacancies. We do have vacancies still. They are the same vacancies as last time, so let me plug them in reverse order. We have a battle mentor vacancy. There's a couple of battle class or jobs that we don't have specialists for. So if you like getting technical and nitty gritty with like the high level details and the meta of a certain job, and you want other people to be able to do this as well, and you're also quite patient and you're good at listening and you're good at letting people learn at their own pace, well, maybe then you could also be a good battle mentor. You could help people figure out the roles that you love so very much. So if you want to do something like that, just come see me or Aeron or whoever from the officer team and just give us a shout out. We are currently looking for at least one battle mentor. And the second vacancy is Alith-Cast presenting the people that are on screen right now. So this time we stole Aeron as a fifth, but we are looking for backup people that would love to join in. It can be topic related, it can be anything related. But if you're not camera shy, you like to talk about Final Fantasy, you like the FC, why not, right? So if you want to do this,
I would like to add to that, even if you don't have a webcam or don't feel comfortable in it, your voice is still very important, right? Your opinion is good.
Yep.
Everyone has something to add to the conversation, and
good point.
even if you don't have a webcam, just reach out to us. Yeah.
Even in that case, absolutely good point. So if you like talking about Final Fantasy, you like being in the FC, you can add something with your voice. That's also very true. So those are the two vacancies we have. If you're interested in either of those, just get in touch with us, send us a message. That's about it. Then it's time for our podcast newcomer shout out. Here are some names of new people that joined the FC since I checked, and I am going to absolutely destroy your names. Carlina Aubrey, Jane Norath, Meloon Sentences, Safety Matches, interesting name, Esme Winters, Lunar Rilana, and Hibiya Tsumiki.
One of us.
And all of those. I hope I said all of those correctly. I have no idea. We'll see. And then as a last TLDR, and this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. So Belle, if you want to put a TLDR link in the YouTube, because anybody that doesn't know what Alith is that has gotten to this point wants to know what Alith is. I think our tagline says it best. No pressure, no drama, no stress, just fun and friendship. So if that's what you're looking for a safe environment to just play a game and have fun with a bunch of people. I mean, there's like over 300 of us, plenty of people to talk to, all kinds of stuff to do together. If you're interested in something like that, just come find us at the website. It's on screen, Alith at FFXIV.com. You can also email us if you want. There's a YouTube channel where this is airing. There's a Twitch TV there. You can also find this. But yeah, if you like what you see, if you're either already in Final Fantasy or looking for a game to play, just send in an application, send us a form, send us a hello, whatever. We can get out, have some fun together. That's basically it.
Thank you. Awesome. Perfect. I always love the news. It's cool. All right. I think we have reached the end of our podcast. We're going to do a little round question. It's a standard, but I would like to first off thank you, Aeron, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
It has been an absolute pleasure having you here and having your knowledge as well, where I feel so hard you could cover. So thank you very much. It's perfect. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say it's always nice to have someone else on the show as well. Have a fresh voice, adding 2 hours. Yeah. So yeah, like Xaert said, if you want to be that fresh voice, reach out. So Aeron, where can people find you? How can they contact you? Do you stream? Do you have Twitch? Do you have YouTube? Do you have Twitter? Do you have Discord? Can they find you in game?
And despite my best intentions, I'm not on YouTube, even though I originally bought my microphone to try out some YouTube. So no, just find me in game or Discord is probably the easiest. I'm in game sporadically. I have an alt as well, Sakura. I think a lot of people think that we're distinct people, but we're not. It's just my alt, same surname, Ellsworth. I play on both of them quite a lot. And yeah, reach out to me anytime. Any questions about raid stuff, battle mentor stuff, and yeah, Discord as well.
All right. Do you want to do a quick shout out to anyone?
Just all the raid leaders and everyone's running the events. Like I said earlier, really great to see so many going on at the moment. So thanks for that.
Cool. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Let's go to the Steadycast. Xaert, where can people find you? How can they reach you? And do you want to do a quick shout out?
I think primarily you can find me on Discord. That's the main reason, the main place that you can find me. And I just want to put a quick shout out in case nobody's noticed it to Belle, who's been in the background in my stream this whole time.
Has he been zooming in? I haven't focused this time.
Quite a lot. I mean, look at this face. He's coming. If I can get my mouse over there, it's there it is. God damn it! Look at that ear.
Nice.
There it is. Yeah.
You've got his ear now. Amazing. All right. Cool. Gunny, where can people find you? How can they reach you? And would you like to do a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, you can find me on Discord, Gunny of God Armor. You can also find me on Twitch occasionally. And it's Gunny the Frog. And I would like to give a big shout out to my girlfriend for being amazing and letting me do this podcast and being extremely quiet in the background because she's had stuff to do and we've been at this for a while. So I thank her for her patience.
You just avoided the couch tonight, Gunny. Good job.
I didn't. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Lucinda, where can people find you? Where can they reach out to you? And would you like to give a shout out?
In-game, my in-game name is Lucinda Blossom. Discord, Lucinda0001, quite simple. And a shout out to, I don't really have anything in particular, so I'm going to give a shout out to my fire alarm for not going off.
That's always a good thing. Perfect. No, I'm not missing anyone except for myself. Yeah, so if you want to reach out to me, my Discord is Pigeon #1219. And otherwise, you can reach me in game. And that is about it for my shout out. Hi, Mom. And that's it. So, yeah, that's the end of it. I would like to ask you and to remind you, we are going to host every 3 weeks, so we'll be back in 3 weeks covering the remainder of the live letter, what else is going to change into the game. If you liked the show, if you enjoyed it, thank you, of course. Remember to like, subscribe, you know that jazz, whatever. Also, we're available on an audio track as well, so you don't have to look at my face. That's always nice. You can listen to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and podbean.com. So yeah, subscribe, blah, and yeah, keep here for the credits. There will be some bloopers. I'm sure there's plenty of them. Good luck with those, Bell. And thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stretch your legs, like grab your knees and then pull your knee across like that and do it for both legs. Usually it's just you need to stretch your lower back. And then get up briefly, maybe.
Alrighty, we're about to start.
You know her.
Sure.
Because I'll do like stretches of all sorts of that way. Sat down too long.
Hey.
Alrighty, we're about to start.